Roger Mark Fowler, Christopher Derrick Dewsnap in their Mark II. And then closely following them in the stage is the man we've talked about a bit this morning, leading our Fuchs Lubricants Bronze Star competitors at this stage. Is a hard-charging Chris Fowler and Harry Stubbs. They've got a 25-second lead over Lewis Hooper and Rhys Edwards. Almost a minute's lead over their fellow 1400S drivers, Nigel Jenkins and Kaz Jenkins, in third place in Bronze Star at the moment. It's quite a lead to have built up in what has been a pretty closely fought class so far this season. Didn't compete with us at the Rally Nuts stages, but was fourth in the Bronze Star category at the opening round, the Malcolm Wilson Rally. So a strong start to the season, but not as strong as his performance that we've seen so far today in that screaming 1400 Satria kit car. Interestingly, I'm not sure if it's the same car, but I've got a feeling it might be. Somebody with more documents in front of them will be able to check this. Jordan Hone, Paul Hone, won the Bronze Star category in 2016. They crashed out this morning in stage 1 in the Fiesta R5, but I think that might be the Proton Satria that they took the title in 7 years ago. As I say, that will need sense checking. It's just an instinct. But we're on to our leading Bronze Star competitors, and their pace is just phenomenal, isn't it, at the head of this field. Will Armitage, Jeremy Polt, coming here 9th in the Silver Star standings. Twelfth place, rounding out our Silver Star competitors coming into this stage. And there's Anthony Hansen and Brad Sewerby, the first of our Vauxhall Chevettes. It's a great sight, isn't it? Vauxhall Chevette sideways in a forest here in the Scottish borders. If you're just tuning in, great to have you with us, whatever you're doing on your Saturday afternoon. We are live for the whole of the entry on this penultimate stage of the day on the Brick and Steel Border Counties Rally. Phil Bramwell, the best weather person I know, because the rest are rubbish, says that there's about 10 more minutes of rain. Just don't think, to explain my comment, I don't think they can predict the weather anymore. There's no science to it. Anyway. One man who won't care about that right now is driving that Chevette, Ben Jemison, Dean Kellett, driven ever so nicely, as we've come to expect. Really pushing hard. I'll flick to the results, see if I can, with my limited mobility with my hands, with everything we're holding here. BTRDA rallyresults.co.uk is where you need to be if you want to follow the results live. They are back up and working. We had a small glitch this morning at the passage control at the end of stage 1, didn't we? But all back online now. Ernie Graham, Karen Graham came here 4th in the Historic Cup. Currently 3rd place. Quite a way up ahead to Ben Friend and Cliffy Simmons, though, in a bit of a league of their own. Well, actually a league that they're sharing with Robert Goff and Paul Morris today. Out in front and inside the top 10. So Ernie Graham, Karen Graham down in 62nd. No, they're not. 3rd in the Historic Cup anyway at this stage. Steve Ward, Phil Sandham, you saw them in the Maidstone liveried Mark II, fourth in that class. And again, some big gaps as you get down to the back end of the podium in the Historic Cup today. The biggest fight, if we're going to have one, will come between Robert Goff and Paul Morris and Ben Friend and Cliff Simmons. 23 seconds separating that pair. But being the only H1, H2 registered driver in the BTRDA Historic Cup, Ernie Graham and Karen Graham, as you'd imagine, are doing the business there. Eighth place at the moment in the Bronze Star overall. Paddy Homan with Sam Spencer alongside. As you see on the screens, you've got the shot before the spot that I'm in, so apologies I can't see exactly what you're seeing, but we do have a car off. Managed to get it going again in that Fiesta. Is this Liam Clark, perhaps? It is, with Ben Wild alongside. A bit of a spin in the first part of this section that we're filming for you this afternoon. At the moment, they're the leading junior R2 Cup driver. Alfie Hammond, who you saw through a few minutes ago, in second place, 49 seconds back, but that spin would have taken a big chunk out of that lead. Although I suspect Liam Clark and Ben Wild were going to the final stage of the day, still in the lead of that R2 Cup category. Niall Cowan, Junior Charlie Sayer Payne, they're in their MGs that are not registered for BTRDA points. Out here is a one-off outing. Don't forget we are covering the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship, so some of the crews don't feature in the results that we're working from at BTRDA rallyresults.co.uk. So if you're wondering why some of the crews feature in class battles and some don't, that's why. Dom Adams have been pushing hard today. They come here fifth in our Silver Star points table. I'm just flicking up if I can. Currently sixth place overall as the thunder crackles away above us. The odd little flash of lightning in the distance. They're only 10 seconds back from Andy Davison and Tom Murphy in the Sunbeam VXR as well. You'll see from them very shortly. It'll be a good battle between that pair going into the final stage of the day. That's 6 miles that we've got left to go here. But this is Nigel and Kaz Jenkins, currently third place in the overall Bronze Star category. Oh, just getting the car crossed up on the braking, getting the rear end of that Nova into the shrubbery as it comes into this second part of the shot that we have. The car now sounding back on song. Doesn't sound like it's missing any of those cylinders like it did this morning. Could a late charge be on the cards? Let's have a look at the gap, because that will tell us, won't it? Keep seeing little flashes of lightning.
Sounds better.
Does sound a lot better. They have 34 seconds to make up to Lewis Hooper and Rhys Edwards in the Bronze Star overall, but they will be second of the 1400 S cars going into this final stage of the day. But that will please Nigel immensely to have every bit of that car working well underneath him. Windber Hill, the next stage up. That's the last stage of the day, sponsored by Don Buckley. Interestingly, this stage is sponsored by Pearsons of Duns and George Anderson. Pearsons of Duns, of course, Gary Pearson, our 2021 BTRDA Gold Star champion, as well as taking the Scottish and the Welsh Championship that season. A big championship from him. We do miss Gary from the championship fight here in the BTRDA at the moment. Hopefully he'll be back at some point. There is your second place man. One last time out in the overall Bronze Star standings. Second place at this stage, and very well cemented in that second spot as well. And just remind yourself every now and again that that is a rally first spec Micra. Yes, it's got a diff after the regs were changed coming into this season, but another remarkable performance as we've come to expect from Lewis Hooper, but you can never take anything away from them. They're always pushing that thing. It's on its door handles at every opportunity. Hello to Jack Morrison, watching from Dumfries, not far away. Curtis Evans as well, lamenting on our behalf how wet it looks out here. It does. It is. Sandy Fairburn, Ian Murray in there, howling. 2.5 litre BMW, snaking their way through this very wet stage. 10 more minutes. I was about to time check you on that 10 minutes of more rain, Phil Bramwell. You're no longer the best weather presenter that I know. You're just as bad as all the rest of them.
Failed.
It's just the skill we seem to have lost, isn't it? I don't know. Bring back Michael Fish. The man currently leading the way in the R2 Rally Cup, Tony Simpson. Stefan Arndt alongside in that Fiesta.
Is lights flashing funny then? Or is it just my camera?
It's lightning in the distance every now and again.
No, this is the headlight. It might just be the camera picking up the lights in the car, but it does look like they're flashing. Headlights flashing.
Tony and Stefan have got quite a significant lead over Liam Clark and Ben Wild. Almost a minute 20 coming into this stage. So as long as they can hold on to that, there's a good result coming at the end of the day for them. And you know what? They need one, because they didn't compete at the first round. They came third last time out of the Rally Nut stages. So they came here fourth in the R2 Cup. So a good result will be welcomed. Crackle of thunder overhead. Rain firing off the brolly, and a Markman Escort sideways through a Scottish rally stage. It's not a bad Saturday, is it? Phil Jobson, Ken Bowman providing the spills out there on the stages. Doug Riddle, hello to you. He's in Murrayfield, managed to spectate in stage 1 this morning, now watching the Tennent's Scottish Rugby Cup final in Edinburgh. And it's not raining there. Hope you have a good day there. Hello to Michael Staunton. According to Wyn Mathias, it's actually sunny in Southern Ireland. Also sunny in County Wicklow in Ireland, according to Brian Byrne. Ireland obviously the place to be if you like your nice weather today. Hello to Warner Lewis. Tim Piercy, Liam Whiteley. Neat and tidy, but pushing on in that Mark 1. It's a good looking car, that one. Sounds great. Bits you can hear above the rain and the thunder. These are the worst rally conditions I think I can remember being out in for many years. It's not taking the edge off the day, though. Hello to Mark Skinner watching with us. Marty Booth, hoping it's going to be dry next week on the Isle of Man. Yes, so are we, because we're going to be there with live coverage of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. First visit to the Isle of Man for nearly 10 years. I'm absolutely delighted to be going back. Paul Thompson, Josh Davison there. 2 DNFs so far this season in that Mark II. They were third in B11 on last year's Border Counties Rally. I don't know if you can hear that thunder as loudly as we can hear, but the cracks of thunder overhead are getting louder, it's getting closer. So fingers crossed the technology holds up, because we do use a satellite uplink for this live coverage, and we are also linking in a second camera, as you will be aware, because you're watching the coverage. So plenty to go wrong if the if the weather takes a turn and the thunderstorm comes in closer. So do bear with us if that happens. Don't forget, you can watch all of the coverage back later on at your own leisure. It stays on the page. And you can also catch up with action from the last round of the MRF BTRDA Rally Championship, as well as action from the last 2 rounds of the Circuit Rally Championship from Cadwell Park and Anglesey. On our Seacon UK Rally Show. It went out last night on Sky and Freeview Channel Sporty Stuff. You can watch it on the Special Stage Facebook and YouTube channel as well. Phil Bramall is not a weather presenter. We have now established that, because 10 minutes in, and a further 10 minutes into his estimate of the rain stopping, it's getting heavier and heavier and the thunder is getting closer. Rally TV in the middle of a thunderstorm. Doug Small says we're going to need a bigger boat. Doug, we just need a boat, mate. Plenty of rally cars, no boats. Jason Taylor, when is the Jim Clark? It's the last weekend in May. We're going to be there for live coverage as well. Rob Wright and Mark Fisher currently 4th in the Silver Star category here today. 20 seconds behind Ben Friend and Cliffy Simmons. So not far off. And Ben Friend is in a bit of a battle with the Flying Kiwi up ahead. Boyd Kershaw, 4 seconds in that one. Speaking of which, here's Boyd now. Second place in Silver Star. Coming into this stage. Ninth place in our overall rally leaderboard here at the Border Counties Rally in a Mark II Escort. Fighting with the R5s and the B13 Evos, or Evo singular. Russ Thompson and Stephen Link in 5th place. Only one Mark II Escort driver is doing it better today, and that's Robert Goff, with none other than Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship coordinator Paul Morris alongside. We've just been watching some old rally footage in the special stage camera van between the stages here. And there was, what year was it, the Damien Cole video we saw? It was on the Manx, wasn't it, in the early 2000s, 2003. Paul Morris chastising Damien Cole for driving too quickly with no brakes, which was hilarious. We've spoken about this pair, Andy Davis and Tom Murphy. They're not going to be happy with their pace today. 5th place in the Silver Star is not where Andy Davison likes to be, but he's got 10 seconds, fairly comfortable. Neil Andrew, Dom Adams will do their best to chase them down. Bit of a gap to do anything with that leaderboard in the right direction unless there are problems up ahead. Came here 4th in the Silver Star standings and will drop down as things currently stand. The Andy Davidson and Tom Murphy. Stuart Eggleston, Brian Hodgson won the H1, H2 class in the Border Counties Rally last year. Question is, have we got any results for stage 6 yet? I think we do have a bit of a problem with signal here in Blackburn Rig because we're again not getting the results through, but as they do come through, which will probably be after we've finished this live coverage, you can get them yourself at btrdarallyresults.co.uk. At the moment it shows Will Banks, Sean Hughes winning everything, which I'm sure they'd be delighted with, but I'm afraid it's not the case. Marcus Long, what's happened to the second camera? I don't know, what's happened to the second camera, producer Wayne? It's over the hill and far away from me, so I can't see it. We think we've got the second camera through, but I did mention at the start of the stream, we are currently mid-thunderstorm. There's thunder crackling overhead, it's getting closer. It's heavy rain, and we've got a satellite uplink plus a second link to the second camera, so do bear with us. It might drop out. We will try and get it back on again. Lewis Hooper and Reese Edwards have gone off further into the stage. Tony Edwards obviously looking on the tracker. Apparently the crew are okay. Just at the moment stuck. Well, that will change things in the Bronze Star, won't it? Clive Sissons watching from sunny Spain. Good soundtrack laid by the pool. Rally cars firing through a thundery, wet Scottish forest. Here's a man who won't be afraid of the conditions. Steve Bannister, Callum Atkinson. There are some days when all you can see through the mist, through the gravel, through the mud being thrown up off the stage is a glimpse of that red stripe on that white escort. On those days, that's all you need. And here's the man who is currently having things, well, all his own way. Almost going a bit too far there. Robert Goff, Paul Morris alongside. You can see visibly how much quicker that escort is. "19 seconds the gap to Boyd Kershaw so far, going into the final 6 miles of this rally. Good performance so far from Robert Goff and Paul Morris. Can they keep it up? Right, we're on to the four-wheel drive battle next. The cars will be starting to say shortly, so we're going to start a new stream here. If you keep the link at the bottom of the screen, we will notify you when we go live. Ben Friend, Cliffy Simmons, you may have noticed, hasn't come through the